Hello, hello. Emily from Just Ask Em here with the Rachael from Rena Jewelry as well.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Rachael Rush. I'm the CEO of Rena Jewelry, and I actually work in marketing as well. My day job.
Beautiful. Now, you previously were a producer, correct?
I was.
Okay.
So right out of college, I left Ohio. That's where I went to school.
Okay.
Went to New York for 10 years, and I was a television producer in reality TV.
Okay.
So I worked on my Super Sweet 16, Cribs, MTV Cribs, a lot of MTV shows. TLC, Say Yes to the Dress.
Wow. Okay.
So I did that for a while, and about 5 years into doing that, I actually... it goes back. In college, high school, I always needed gas money, right? So I never could have a job because I played volleyball. So I played D1 volleyball. And I was like, how am I going to get extra money, in college and high school? So I was like, let me start selling stuff.
Okay.
And it all started with eBay. And so back in the 90s when eBay started, launched, I was like looking around, like, what can I find? What can I sell? What can I flip? It's like that hustle mentality that's in me. I mean, I know you know. And so that's kind of how that love for flipping things and selling things really started. Okay. It was like 8th, 9th grade. And then when I got to New York, it was always a dream of mine to own a store. Okay. So at the time, I opened Rena Reborn. Okay. In the East Village in New York. So it was right on 7th Street between Avenue A and First Avenue.
Very nice.
And that was like my first baby. Yeah. It was a dream come true. Wow. And it was fabulous. And I ran that for about 6 years. Okay. And then when I relocated back to New York, or back to Buffalo, I tried to kind of run it from here for about a year. It was tough. It was difficult.
It's a little different than New York City
Just
vibes.
a little bit, yeah. So I ended up closing the store down there. One of my girlfriends, actually, she bought the business from me. Nice. And then when I got here, I said, how can I bring a piece of New York to Buffalo, and also my love for still selling things, and finding like that awesome piece that's a statement piece that people are going to talk about. And then that's how Rena Jewelry came into fruition. Okay. And Rena is actually my middle name.
Yes, which I didn't know. Now, when you started way back of selling like stuff on eBay, was it only jewelry or was it other things?
Oh, you really want to know the truth, girl? Are we talking about the truth? Okay, let's talk about the truth.
Okay.
I don't want to age myself or talk about anything like that.
The 90s weren't that long ago, okay?
Who remembers Napster, LimeWire? You remember that shit? Okay. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I don't know if we could curse or not. So I started burning CDs and selling them, girl. Selling burned CDs. You know that's illegal, right? Well...
That's expired. She can't be charged anymore.
That's all said and done. So anyway, that's how I kind of first started, which was like some illegal handling.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, sure do. So did that, but that's kind of how that started.
And then you figured out.
Then I was like, I can't really sell that. I probably should just sell like what's in my closet. That's probably like the safest thing. And then that's kind of how that transpired. So you want to know the real, that's kind of what happened.
So fast forward, the focus is where we are now.
Yes. And doing things the right way.
And then Rena, right?
Rena. Yep.
Rena Reborn in New York City. Was that jewelry as well?
So it was everything. A little mix. I had clothing, designer handbags, shoes, accessories. I had people who come in consign their items. Oh, okay. I also featured up and coming designers that were students at like FIT and NYU, and like students that really like were honing on hopefully one day making their stuff on the runway during like Fashion Week. And I had them sell their stuff in my store. Nice. So it was really nice to kind of see people also grow. One of my past friends who used to sell her ready-to-wear line in my store now has blown up. Really? It's called Pantora, and she does a bridal line. She has a store in Brooklyn and in LA, and she won like $1 million contest on it's some YouTube
like channel or something?
Yeah. It was like what to wear or something like that. But anyway, she won that.
What not to wear?
No, not what. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, one of those.
But
like
she won something, and it was like went major. So it's like, and I messaged her, and she literally humbled, like she was just like so humble. She's like, no, if it wasn't for you, you kind of like the clothes I was selling in your store got me to really what I wanted to do for my bradle store. Right. I was like, I'm over here congratulating you, and well, that's the other thing.
The rewarding feeling.
Supporting women.
Yeah.
Like women supporting women, and a special shout out real quick. Miss Eye Candy, wearing Miss Eye Candy on the top.
Very nice.
You have to support our local businesses. Yes. It is so important. and support women owned businesses too.
And also hoping for her to be a future podcast guest.
Yes.
So, like you said.
Yes.
But Eye Candy, right?
Miss Eye Candy.
Yes. That's on Allen Street?
Yes, it is.
Street.
Yes, it is.
And she actually was, I want to say the second one on It's a Private Party.
Yes, she was.
They used her boutique, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. So, and that's what I'm saying. That's the amazing thing of like how that works. It's like Buffalo's so big but so small, and like I said, in just a few seconds you got Miss Eye Candy, you got It's Private Party, and that's just off the strength of, you know, like you said, that energy working together, utilizing
networking,
resources within.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm saying. And like corporate America, it's not really everything it seems to be, because it's just like when you have that small cluster of small businesses, when you put them all together, it's like it can be something big.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So just things like that's why I say collaboration versus competition.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yes. And that's why I'm here.
Right.
My girl always supports me. No, you support me at wait, but I was gonna do this at the end, but you always support me, and I love you for that, and I love you for inviting me on your show. Like, this is awesome. So I brought you a little gift. You can open it later, but just a special thank you.
Of course, Mama. Thank you. And like I said, so far the guests I've had, the like energy of everything, you know, it's genuinely appreciated, because this is time out of people's day. You know, people got families, you got day jobs, this and that. So
kids,
it's amazing, right?
I got lots of kids.
Right. So I admire her. She vowed to herself to travel every so often. And I do think that's important, whether it's as an adult, as, you know, a parent. You shouldn't have to stop living your life. I think it's just a balance and kind of readjusting where you still better.
Oh, absolutely. And you got to take that time out for yourself, because it allows you to breathe, like reflect, and kind of recharge in a sense where you're like, okay, this is where I'm at. Mm-hmm. Where do I want to be? How do I get there? How do I get from point A to point B? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's growth. It's learning as you go. It's networking, learning from others. But, you know, even with Rena Jewelry, you know, it's not something where I can quit my day job and live off of it, right? Maybe one day, yes, that'd be great. Right now, that money that I make, or that extra money, that goes, I do it for my kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that sends us on our vacations. That sends us, you know, and little things like that. So it's like, it's the joy for me, and looking at people when they're kind of going through the jewelry and their eyes and like how they like love it. Women love jewelry. I mean, men do too. Don't get it twisted. Men do too. But it just brings me so much joy, and that's why I do it. Like, that's really why I do it.
Well, and I think that's the importance of, like you said, like the reality is sometimes your side, you know, small business might not always pay the bills or support the family, but that's why it's nice to have that passion of something, even if it's not, you know, paying all of your bills. But it's just like the world we live in, the cost of things, you have to find a way to survive, but you don't want to be like miserable in everything you do. Or just like the boring 9 to 5.
Correct. So, and that's the thing, like, ultimately, yes, I would love for Rena Jewelry to blow up and where I can walk away from my day job. Yes, that's the ultimate goal. But one thing that, you know, you can't forget is everything's a journey.
Right.
And so sometimes
doesn't happen overnight.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Majority of times it don't. You know, so it's like you got to remember to kind of just take every day as it comes. Jump over those hurdles, work over, under, go around.
It's what you make of it. It's how you look at it.
Exactly, that positivity.
You know, it's like, and it gets challenging sometimes. I am not going to lie. So with the amount of things I'm doing lately, I'm just like,
I know. I never knew where you're at. It's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
Good.
I ran into her at Chick-fil-A. I'm driving. She's like, Rachael. I was like, is that Anna? I was like, oh my God, that's him. I was like, hey, I'm running you everywhere. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, and like I said, it makes sense in my head that there's always a method to the madness. But at the same time, I don't want you to know what my next move is.
No, exactly. That's your strategy. That's your, right, yes.
It all makes sense in my head.
Yes.
So now, by day, you do marketing. How would you say that marketing transitioned into, like, having your own small business, or did it transition?
Oh my gosh. So quite honestly, I wish I would have known more. So I went to school for communications, radio and TV broadcasting. I was a DJ on the radio. I hosted events in college. I was a sideline reporter for college football, basketball. So I did in front of the camera. I did behind the scenes. I don't have a business degree, right? So I kind of, when I opened my store, it was like fly by the seat of your pants. I knew the industry. I didn't necessarily know how to from a marketing standpoint, run the business and set aside and allocate dollars to that. I wish I would have known that. I relied heavily on social media, which did well. So, you have your ebbs and flows. A lot of it has to do with weather. If it was raining one day, people aren't walking around the East Village to shop. But then it was that turn of people also were shopping less and less brick and mortar and more on their phones. Yeah. So there was that transition. And so for me, what I do now in my day job, because when I moved back to Buffalo, I worked for an insurance company in management for about 8 years. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But towards the end, my heart is in television, in sales. So I was like, how can I really merge and bleed the two together?
Sales, good for you.
And at the time, I was just becoming a single mother. So I was going through a divorce. So I'm like, I got to make sure I make about the same amount of income. I have to find something that's flexible because I have 3 kids who are in
still young at that time.
Young in 55 million sports. So how can I make that work?
Right.
And a marketing job fell in my lap. And so grateful for, we go back to networking. I put it out there to a few of my friends, close friends, that I was looking, and they put me in touch with a couple different people who knew the right people and got me some interviews. And I had 3 interviews. I got job offers on all 3.
Very nice.
I'm still in touch with the broadcast stations who offered me, but ended up going with Spectrum Reach. Great team there. So yeah, that's kind of how it all emerged.
And it's weird, it's a journey though, like you said.
Right.
It in a weird way, it all falls in its place, how it's supposed to. So it's it's great to be a go-getter, but then it's also important not to force too much, because then it's you might be pushing it in a direction that it's not meant to be.
Correct.
So it's kind of nice when you do sit back and let it happen, then you're like, oh, okay, it comes into perspective as it falls into place how it should be. But then even going back to what you said as far as, you went to school for communications, you don't have a business degree. Yeah. I have done, some college in business management. I'm still 5 classes away because I'm like,
right.
Do I need it?
Right. Well, no.
And it's like you said.
And that's the other thing.
You had the knowledge of the industry. And I think at times it's over and underrated in the sense of, oh, well, you don't have this degree, you don't have this degree. But a person like me, person like you, with all the backgrounds in customer service, understanding people, how things work, you can actually build the foundation of a business so strong based off of that, because it's constantly evolving.
Correct.
And it's more important to stay up to date with that.
I was just going to say that. Staying up to date with the current trends and what's happening in that specific field that you really want to push your business in, super important. But then also just goes back to what we talked about is networking. It's about who do you know, and the group of people that you know. And everyone here in Buffalo is 1 degree, 2 degrees of that, of separation. So it's someone who knows someone who knows someone, and it's also just putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I had
in
to.
Yourself. You've been going to a lot of networking events.
Okay, and I know.
Yes, I know. I've seen you, and I'm like, there she is, looking cute.
Because I'm just I gotta get out here. I like to be under my rock at home.
Right.
But with
we all do. We all do.
Of industries and jobs, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to have to become more social. So, what does that look like? How does, and then, Cal just asked me about the party on Pearl.
Oh,
he's like, we're going again this year? I said, when is that?
Oh, yes, you guys are coming.
I went last year.
Yes.
And that was the first time, and I'm like, okay, I like this event. So, I'm like, this year, I said, yes, I'll go. Yes. I got to shop for a new outfit, because I got to come fresh.
I just ordered mine. I feel like that's the event of the year that everyone comes, because it's the breakout of summer.
Right,
it's rooftop. So I actually sit on the board for Party on Pearl. Okay. Wonderful foundation that we work with Buffalo Children's Hospital, Oshine, and 100% of the proceeds goes to Children's Hospital. Top shelf liquor, all you can eat. It's a wonderful evening.
It's patio. It's just warm in Buffalo is a win-win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it always is. And for some reason, it's always beautiful that day. Let me knock on wood. Watch it rain or some crazy.
No, don't say that.
Right. No,
wear your hair curly, lady, just in case.
Yeah. It's a wonderful night.
Yeah, no, that's great though. But that networking is definitely key. But it's not what you know; it's who you know.
Correct.
And like I said, I think it's just that thing of understanding, communicate with people, network, because next thing you know, you can be out for a girls' night, and next thing you know, you're having a business conversation that brings you to your next business connection.
I can't even begin to tell you how many people from networking that I'm, in my day job right now. Like, I'll take Deco for instance. Deco has been, my go-to place for an after-work cocktail, or even on a Friday night. I like that they're only open till about midnight. Always have a great DJ Friday and Saturday. Shout out to P, Euro, Jet, like just shout them all out, right? And it's just like, I ended up just meeting with those guys and talking even after hours work, having a drink, and now they're my clients. Now I work with them, and I oversee their marketing strategy plan. So it's like little things like that where it's just like my job in marketing is to look at your business, see where opportunities lie. What are you looking for? Brand awareness, a combination of that, bringing more people in your door, and how can I help drive the growth of your business? And then I work with them hand in hand, and I absolutely love it. Yeah. It really is just like a perfect fit for me. Yeah. So it works.
Well, I mean, like I said, that's great to like have everything on your plate that you do. You enjoy your day job, and then it's like, you also enjoy your passion. Like that's literally like, if I'm going to be doing that for the next 30 to 40 years, like that's what I need to look,
I'm going to have a little less like, than you girl, because I'm a little bit older. But
that's because when you go into retirement, Rena Jewelry is going to take care of it.
There you go, right. Yes.
So, okay, so now, fast forward, you had your brick and mortar in New York City, you moved to Buffalo, you had life-changing events, you kind of readjusted and adapted. So currently, I've seen you at, some networking events, and you have, I think, a pop-up event coming?
I do. I'm very excited about it. This is a big one. This is one, it's Mother's Day weekend. Okay. So, I mean, what else do you want to buy your mother but jewelry, right?
And what's that, May 9th?
May 9th and 10th. It's at the Hamburg Fairgrounds.
Nice.
It's May 9th is a Friday, so it's Friday, Saturday, all-day event. I will be there. I've been there the last couple of years.
Very nice.
And I bring my mom that weekend, too. I bring my mom and my daughter. So they'll be there helping me out because it's Mother's Day weekend. I want to spend time with her.
I can't believe it's like, oh my God, that close already.
Isn't it crazy? I know. Crazy. I know. It's wild.
So primarily it is jewelry that you're offering.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I
sometimes do clothes because I do still work with some wholesalers out in New York.
Okay.
And so I'd have a Poshmark as well. So I gotta send you the link to that because I love Poshmark. Well, that's like for more eBay. I've been doing it for what?
So you're
Again, I'm gonna date myself, but what, 30, right? 28 years? I've been doing it for 5 years.
There we go.
Let's just say that.
She's vetted in.
I told my kids, I was like, I'm 21. No, Mom, no, you're not. I was like, well, just tell people I am. It's fine.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, I seen your post about like all the little individual packages. So that's Poshmark.
That's Poshmark. Yes, and I do live shows. I do live shows on Poshmark, which is great because I get to meet people from like all over the world, which is awesome. So I do Poshmark. It's funny because Siobhan, who's the owner of Miss Eye Candy, she, I was in her shop one day with one of our other close friends, Melissa. They also do Poshmark. Okay. And we were on like this run of who's going to get to be a Posh ambassador first. Well, girl, I became a Posh ambassador too. And we have this group chat and I'm like trying to get them like, come on guys, come on. Right. But it's like, it's just fun, and to see things sell. It's like, again,
it's definitely meticulous. So I give you your props because I've done it like a couple times, and it's like you got to be real attention to detail.
But that's like my hobby. Like if you want to know what I'm doing, if I'm like not hanging out after we're having dinner or whatever, and I'm at home. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. Like after the kids go to bed, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm doing Poshmark. That's all I do. That really is. I'll put on like, okay, I have a guilty pleasure, Lifetime movies. I'll put on a Lifetime.
Listen.
Right?
I do home care and I'll be doing like the home care Lifetime movie and I'm like, oh no, she did.
Yeah, right. I'm like, she got her husband got away with that? What the hell am I watching?
They got some good movies, but we're still young, but we like Lifetime.
Love Lifetime. I'm sitting there doing Posh. So that's all I do. But it's like those memes that's like when you think I'm out running the streets and she's at home with like a bonnet, sweeping the floor. That's me.
She is knitting them Poshmark bags.
If I'm not out networking, I'm at home doing Poshmark. Period.
That's how you stay preserved.
There you go. Exactly.
So with everything, you got your day job, you got Rena Jewelry, obviously you make time for yourself to have fun and you have a family. through all of that, and it's like I said, the great balance of it is you actually enjoy what you do. I think that's reflected in your energy. Every time you're out, like, you're always happy, you're smiling. Like, that's important, and that's great. I think that's a great thing to have in Buffalo, because it ain't always sunshine and
no, it's not.
Palm trees here.
No,
so you have to like. It's so important to create that happiness, within yourself first. But even if you're not where you want to be, sometimes just making that your happy place no matter where you are. Because you can go to Florida, you can go to, Puerto Rico, you can go to Jamaica, wherever.
Yeah.
But it's like, that can also be a temporary happiness.
Sure.
So it's like, it's so important to kind of invest in, like you said, what do I enjoy? What makes me happy?
And that's, you're so spot on, because when I did go through my divorce, it was a really tough time for me. I was the first person in my family to go through something like that. I felt alone. And it was a very difficult time, and it took quite some time for me to work on me to get to the point where I lost who I was, really. I was a wife, I was a mother, and I forgot, what does Rachael like to do?
And it's easy, because like when you're married for so many years.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
Well, and if you got married, young, it's like these prime years, you might not be single, or you might have kids, or you might not. So it's like you said, it's very easy to like kind of fall into that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like I said, like for me, like when I get married, because we're not in a season of if, but when.
I'm here for the win. I'm gonna start shopping for the dress right now. I'm here for the win.
He's gonna be like, if you don't stop mentioning that in your podcast episode,
I'll message Cal like, I heard win. So I'm watching you. I'm waiting for the ring.
But one thing I do love about him, he is, he lets me be me. He supports me. He invests in me. He encourages me. He genuinely does.
Ladies, that's the type of man you need. This is what we were talking about. And I'm so
sorry. I'm mean
too. Say it again for the women in the back.
Yes.
If you don't got a man that supports you and lifts you up and brings you that positivity and helps you be the 30 or the 70% when you're feeling like you're 30, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and invest in you.
That type of partner.
Yeah.
You don't even gotta be a man. You need that type of partner.
Whatever you're
like, just all this negativity and all this, because then we could have a whole show on dating.
Listen,
okay?
You know what?
Are we gonna do that?
We're gonna, because that's gonna listen. And you might want to unsubscribe from me after I get it.
You're gonna get more subscribers from the dating conversation.
We're gonna come back to you, ladies, because y'all be talking about there ain't no man, this and that. Listen. Yes. First of all, I'm gonna leave it at this, because it's gonna be a whole nother podcast episode. Stop shopping for a man, because what you shopping for might not be meant for you. It looks like what it is.
It looks all nice and pretty with a bow on it, but
when you unwrap it, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it's talking about. It might be an empty box. The box is empty.
Seriously.
A lot of women out there see the fancy packages, but the box is empty, girls. We gotta.
I've been engaged two different times, but listen, if it didn't feel right, I gave them rings back.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother
episode.
That's a whole
episode.
So we're gonna hope that the third time is the charm. But my point is, it's just like, even if when you get married, when you're in a relationship, it's so, like you said, there's so many distractions, there's so many voids, there's so many things in life that can keep you busy, and there's good busy and there's bad busy.
Yeah.
But regardless of it's a work relationship, a friendship, family relationship, or your significant other, check in with yourself, like you said, or take time for you to figure out, okay, how am I doing? Am I still happy where I am? Reevaluate, no matter how many times you have to do it. And even if you are a wife, even if you are a mother, life is not over for you. You have to still have purpose of what you're living for, what you wake up for every day. And you should still always maintain this respectful but certain level of independence. It doesn't matter who it's with, because sickness happens, divorce happens. You just never know. One might just pass away all of a sudden, and now it's just all on you, and you have to figure it out. So it's just like, you should always evolve, stay up to date, stay educated, and really continuously invest in yourself.
And you know what? I think also in all those things, absolutely, give yourself grace. Because you know what? There's days you're going to get up.
Perfect.
And I think that was like the other piece too, because I am type A personality. I don't lose. So I'm a very competitive person. I don't lose.
Volleyball queen.
Right, exactly. Like, I don't play that. I don't play that. Like me and my sister, we both D1. And I always talk about this. D1. And my senior year, her freshman year, because we're 4 years apart, our coaches had us play each other. Because I went to University of Akron, so we always came back and played UB. She went to Niagara University. So when we came back, Akron played Niagara, and we won. To this day, every Thanksgiving, I'm still talking shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, da. So, but that's been our whole life. Like, I got 3 kids, she's got 3 kids. But then we went on the trip, and this chick wanted one on me. We find out on this trip that she's pregnant. Ooh. So now she one up on me, but I said, you know what? I said, you could have that one.
Right.
I said, you could have. And she looked me dead in my face. She goes, oh no. She goes, this last one, and she's this 4th one. She's like, this is a whole group investment. Right. She's like, oh, you're helping with this. Like, all hands on deck for this one.
But see, so now you could tell her you're still winning because you're like, I'm the auntie. She gets to give that 4th one back.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I actually have my youngest sister expecting too. So it's just a whole bunch of love in the family.
So why don't you have a family show or in series yet?
I know, right? I know. Something with the Kardashians, like something crazy. There's 5 of us, so 4 girls, 1 boy. I'm sure
you'd be the Hope from the Kardashians.
right. It'd be like, I don't know though. It's all families got drama. You know what I'm saying? But it's comedy though. It's all good. It's all good.
And like you said, and that goes back to having grace with yourself. Nobody's perfect. You could be 30, 40, 50, 60. Nobody has it all figured out. You could have been married, divorced, kids, and guess what? Everybody is still learning. Everybody's still learning. You learn something new every day.
Every day.
And like you said, and I feel like it's never too late where if you're unhappy with something or someone or doing something, listen,
Girl, I changed my career like 3 different times. Like when I tell people my background, they're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to take that next step or take that chance. Absolutely. I went from working in television to coming back to Buffalo. I mean, if I could be just quite frank, I was like, oh, I'm going to get a job. You see my resume?
Yeah.
Do you know how quickly I got humbled?
Right.
Going in like Channel 2 and Channel 4, they're like, oh no, you're overqualified. I said, I'm overqualified? That don't even make sense. Like, let me in entry level. I'll knock this shit out of the park. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then that's how I ended up working in insurance and management because I was without a job for 2 months. My now ex-husband was still down in New York working. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I need to friggin' work. I can't just be sitting on my ass all day. You know what I'm saying? And so then it was like, okay, get a job. My sister was at Geico. I worked in management in Geico. And that was cool. Great money. It was great. But it wasn't my passion. Yeah. I learned a lot from a corporate side. Yeah. Did also, at that time, get some business classes done. Okay. But at the same time, it's like, I wasn't happy. Yeah. So, I was going through a divorce, newly single parent, unhappy at my job. And that's when I say give yourself grace. Yeah. Give yourself grace and figure it out. Take that time for you to grow, to evolve. And I'm telling you, the person who I was, right at the tail end of that divorce and all of the change and who I am now, that's the person you see out smiling and
because you freed yourself from that.
I freed myself.
Yeah.
I became, what's the word? I became good with what ended. Yeah. Job, marriage, all of that. I was finally at peace with that. And then I knew my new beginning was about to happen. So that's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid. Change can be very, very good.
And like you say, it's scary, but it's good. And like I said, even going back to just saying, if something is being ripped away from you, you have to be conscious not to fight for it so much that it's just it's getting separated from you because that's not what is no longer meant for you. And you might be delaying your new blessing. Correct. You know what I mean? So it's just yes, faith without works is dead. Push towards what you want to accomplish and what you want to work for. But it's also the consciousness of, okay, am I trying to make it happen so much on my own strength that it's okay, let me, like you said, sit back. Right. Reset, reevaluate, refresh, whatever you have to do to be okay, is this meant for me? What does this look like, in the future if I do start this or continue to do it? And I think a lot of the time it's so easy to get caught up with stuff like, social media or just FOMO and trying to be seen everywhere where it's just don't do it so much to a point that it's sacrificing your authentic self, And like I said, just that balance of you had that amount of unhappiness in too many areas, what it seemed like at that point. Right. So you kind of got up, you figured out, okay, where do I want to change the balance of more happy places? Yeah. And you did that. And it is a journey. It takes a while, but it's also having that understanding, patience, and grace with yourself to kind of just let it happen. And I feel like when you let yourself learn those lessons, like you said, you feel it where it's just like, okay, I think my new beginning is like coming.
Yeah.
It's like, that's, you know, whether it's God or the universe that you believe in, that intuition, that spirit, it's there for a reason. It's just like, you know, it'll let you know.
It's funny because, I don't have it on. So when I wear my gold jewelry, I don't have it on. But whenever I wear my silver jewelry, when you talk about like the shedding piece, I have this Gucci bangle that I always wear. I mean, I wear it all the time. If I'm dressed down, I wear it like little sweatsuit.
Yeah.
And it's, the line of the collection is snakes, and the snake eyes are hearts. And I bought it when I was going through the divorce because it was the snake shedding its skin into a new beginning. And the love finally coming back to me. Yeah. And so that piece, oh my gosh, that piece means like everything to me because it was like at a point in time, like that's why I love jewelry. But that one just has like a special meaning. And it's not from my line, it's Gucci. But it's something I wear all the time. So it's like because you're shedding yourself, you're becoming a new person.
And then it's being okay, just being okay with that. There's nothing, you know, let it happen sometimes. I think I would say that right now, like, what did Cass say? He said, what birth do you know isn't painful? And I'm like, oh, when you say it like that, okay.
Right. No, it's true.
You know, it's like,
it's
okay.
so true. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, well, you heard it on Just Ask Em. We have the fabulous Rachael from Rena Jewelry. Eyes matching the top. Thank you, Miss Eye Candy.
Right, Miss Yes.
And so like I said, you got the Party on Pearl coming up.
Party on Pearl. We got that event coming up May 9th and 10th at Hamburg Fairgrounds. Beautiful. You can check out rena-jewelry.com or my Instagram, rena.jewelry.
Okay.
Definitely look there. A lot of new stuff I put on Instagram first. Okay. And I do free deliveries.
So, that's big.
Buffalo area, I'll drop it off too.
There you go. Very nice. So I hope you subscribe and tune in.